So the video you're looking at on the screen is one I just uploaded last. It's called My Story Preview, and the title is Women Love Hard or Not Really. And I was talking about the video I had uploaded a couple of videos back that's called One Day People Will Hear My Story. And in that one I mentioned about what happened to me and my kid's mother when we were invited to stay at her relative's house and my relative's house because we had lost our place. And it was while she was 8 months pregnant, and both sides of the family put us out over petty arguments. So I will leave a link to the video in the comments and the description. That way you can get more of a story on that. There was something I forgot to add in that video, and I will still get in more detail in a later video with the whole story. But another part I forgot to add is when it talks about the part in the video where we were staying at my cousin's house down there because I have cousins down there in the South too, and her family, that's where I met her when I went down there to stay with them, and that was a whole nother story. They also was putting me out of their house when I stayed with them too. They actually invited me down there in the year 2000 because they were really jealous of me, and they invited me down there to set me up. So I will get into that in a later video. But once I met my girlfriend later on, we fell on hard times and asked to come stay with them, and they invited us to stay there and then kicked us out over a petty argument. But y'all know what an ultimatum is, right? That thing where, you got to agree to do this or this consequence will happen or you'll lose something. I got a hell of an ultimatum for you. Y'all that's listening, this gonna blow your mind. This happened, okay, in real life. Now, listen to this. We had already gotten put out of her mother's house over a petty argument while she was 8 months pregnant and I was on crutches. And then we got put out a second time over another petty argument from the same house after my wallet had gotten stolen by her mother, but most likely her younger sister, who wanted to fuck me. And I wasn't messing with her because I was with her sister, who was my kid's mother. So she started a petty argument, got us kicked out after my wallet had already gotten stolen. They had all my ID in there, social security card, a copy of my birth certificate, because, back then they had smaller copies that you could fit in your wallet. You could fold up and fit. It was in there. And the first, the money that was $180 something, almost $200 for my first check working at McDonald's. And even though we were homeless and being kicked out of people's houses, I managed to maintain a part-time job at McDonald's. Don't do all that. And as soon as I get my first check and I got the money in the wallet, my wallet had fell out of my shorts that I had on the sofa. And when I came back in the room, it was gone. And I used to think it was her mother that stole it, the same person that kicked us out as the head of household that kicked us out. But I strongly believe nowadays, remembering things, that it was actually her sister that stole the wallet. They could have returned the wallet, left it back on the sofa or on the floor somewhere with the IDs and stuff still in, and just took the money. You could tell that this was spiteful because they took the whole wallet and never returned it. And how I know nowadays that it was her sister instead of her mother that took it, and I'll get into the ultimatum in a minute. I know I'm going off track, but just stay with me. How I figured out nowadays, when I remember it, that it was her younger sister, who was 14, that stole the wallet and didn't return anything. That's why she didn't just steal it for the money, and that it was out of spite. Because like I said, she wanted to fuck me, and we never got together. What tipped me off that it was her and not her mother, because there was another time later on that was before we came to stay with them, that we were leaving to come to New York and things didn't work out and we came back down there. And somehow her younger sister had got a hold of my work ID and had cut it up into pieces and then put it back on the couch. And all I know is I came back in the room and my ID was laying on the couch, cut up. I don't even know how she got a hold of it. Now that's something that a jealous adult woman does. Can you imagine a 14-year-old girl doing that? That's how I know she stole my wallet. And she also done other things like, which I figured out later, she would take my washcloth and use it on her privates and put it back where it was like nothing happened. That explains the smell of onions and curly hairs, black curly hair stuck in my washcloth every other day. And then my washcloth disappeared and I had to try to use one of the other people in the house washcloth. And I would find that often in the sink, thrown in the sink with a bunch of hairs in it. So she would use the washcloth that's supposed to go on my face, her younger sister, 14 years old, wipe it on her privates, and put it back like she didn't do anything. I'm not kidding you when I tell you this. She also lied on her mother's boyfriend to get him accused of trying to come on to her or touch her when her mother wasn't home. That's her mother's boyfriend she accused, and her mother believed it. Had the boyfriend arrested on his job. He lost his job. He almost went to jail permanently, and then later on the boyfriend ended up getting back with her, despite the 14-year-old daughter did this. I'm not making this shit up, bro. She is hell on wheels. That 14-year-old girl, my kid's mother's sister, hell on wheels. Now she's with a woman munching on carpet. I guess she wore out her welcome with men. I guess that would wear out the welcome. So, yeah, I know I went off track, but, you know, I had to say that. I hope she rots in hell when she dies. So now, going back to this ultimatum, this is a good one because this ultimatum is going to blow your mind. Now, after we got kicked out of her mother's house twice while she was pregnant, and while I'm working at McDonald's trying to work a job to get us a place, and after we got my first check stolen, I still got to work at McDonald's and go there knowing that I lost my first check and I have to start all over again. We go to my cousin's house, also my aunt's house. And we're staying there. We get invited. They love down there in the South. These women love to invite you to their place to stay just so they can let you get good and comfortable and think that you don't have to worry anymore, just so they could kick you out over stupid shit. They'll start an argument with you and kick you right the fuck out. So this is what happened. I'm at work at McDonald's trying to get us out of being homeless. And we thought we didn't have to sleep in the grocery store at night no more, in the hospital waiting area anymore. We thought we had, you know, we could get with them and they would look out for us. And just like family can do you dirty, that's what my family did. So while I'm at McDonald's working at that hot fry station so that I could try to make some kind of situation to get money and get a place for me and my unborn first daughter, this is what happened. Oh, I forgot to mention that wallet that got stolen also had the EBT food stamp card that was to feed us and our unborn daughter too. So her sister knew what she was doing. And she, these things that my family and her family was doing to us while she was pregnant, she almost lost her baby because of it. Yeah, I forgot to add that. Women love harder. Yes, they do. They absolutely do. So these cousins, the ultimatum, here it comes. I'm at work. My kid's mother is minding her business. She's in one of the bedrooms in my cousin's house. And just like when I was staying with them a year or two ago when I first came down and they made my life a living hell, they couldn't leave her alone either. So they came to her and this is what they said. They said, listen, we're going to make you an offer. Listen carefully, y'all. Are you ready? They said, they said to her, my cousin's blood, said to her, non-blood, didn't know it from a hole in the wall, said to her, if you agree to let us put him out of the house and don't argue about it and let him go on about his business, we'll let you stay here as long as you need to. I'm going to repeat that again in case y'all didn't get it, because I know some of y'all ain't never heard this shit before from nobody. My own cousins, and of course my aunt would have known about it too, which is their mother, said that if you let us throw out the father of your child to be, even though he's our blood, and don't dispute it and don't try to go find him, we'll let you stay as long as you need to stay. Did you get what I just said that time? Okay. That's how much they hated me. And I don't know if I said it before, I'm light skinned, and they're very prejudiced. They're also very racist. And that's why they didn't like me. Plus they hated me because, and they never said it, but I got to figure this out. You see, their other aunt, which is my grandmother, which me and her get along just fine, they basically were very jealous because when I was 15 years old, that my grandmother let her nephew come stay there from down south, their town, and stay there so he could get a job and get in college and then, get on his own, and he left. And then right after that, I guess that they thought that one of them could get to come up, one of the girls, but instead she let her grandson, who lived right across the street from her, my grandmother let her grandson, which lived right across the street from her, move in from 15 years old to 21 instead. And I didn't know that my cousins hated me for that. They couldn't wait to get me down there. So they invited me down there before I met my kid's mother down there. They invited me down there to come stay down there, thinking I'm finally going to have a full house full of loving family. That I had never had a full house full of loving family before. And that would support me in trying to get myself together at 21 and go to college. They set me up. They treated me so bad over the next couple of 2 and 3 months. And they didn't want my grandmother to know that they invited me down there. She doesn't even know that. She thought I kept it from her for whatever reason. No, they told me to keep it from her until I came down there. Then they would tell her, because she probably would have talked me out of it. Yeah. Yep. And because they wanted to sleep with me, and I didn't sleep with them, because that's how some of them get down, they hated my girlfriend, and they treated me and her like garbage. So yeah. Yeah. Can't nobody do you dirtier than family. If you black, you damn sure know that. Can't nobody do you dirtier than family. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, because I might say something that I shouldn't be saying on this platform. But I don't give a damn if any of them come across this, because they know what they've done. And I always say that. I always say that as a little disclaimer in my videos, I've been doing recently, because, the black community, somebody always knows something, and they're always minding your business. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of them hear this from up here or down there, and I really don't give a fuck. I almost said something I shouldn't, that I can't say on here. All right. Thanks for listening, and I will talk more about these different situations later.